guys, so we are actually at, is this Moonlight Beach? Yeah, Moonlight Beach. We're walking over to the overlook up over there, but you can see the beach. It's pretty busy. So our favorite spot is up on this little cliff here. They have benches, and we usually just park in the lot and sit there with our coffees and talk. But we wanted to get a little bit of walking in. So we're headed over here to the overlook. So I'm not by any means perfect. I have a lot of knowledge, and I used to think knowledge is power. Well, now I know that sure, knowledge is a great tool to have in your pocket, but the power comes in utilizing that knowledge and how you utilize it. So I know that I shouldn't be eating more than like 80% of my fullness level, because when you get to 100%, you feel like this. You feel like, oh, maybe I should have ate a little bit less. But that's all right. We're not perfect, and we have the rest of the day to make wiser, more conscious choices. So it's about every single little meal, every decision, every snack, everything you put in your mouth, be conscious of. And we have to get away from wanting and desiring that overly full feeling, like, oh, I need to eat some more until I'm feeling like so full that I can't move. We actually don't want that. We want to feel just full enough to last a couple hours to our next snack or our next meal. So the last thing I want to talk about is advocating for ourselves at the doctor. That's another thing that's common in African American culture, is not going to the doctor, not taking our medications like we should, not following the treatment plans, and just not going regularly. So especially if you're an African American woman, you're in your 40s, any African American woman of any age, first of all, you need to be advocating for yourself at the doctor. If for some reason you feel like you're not being heard, you're not getting the treatment that you need, your symptoms aren't being taken seriously, change doctors, get a second opinion, because African American women are absolutely dying at higher rates than white women or any other race because of racism in the healthcare industry. It's a real thing. So please advocate for yourself. Make sure you're heard. And if you are not happy with your physician, get a second opinion, ask for a different doctor. You do not have to stay with that physician. And please understand that not every physician is like that. I've come across some really great doctors. I've come across some awful doctors. But you can't get the help that you need if you don't let it be known that this is what's going on with me. I know my body well enough to know that what you're saying is not right. So I need a second opinion, or I need for you to really hear me and understand what I'm saying. And nothing is wrong with being heard. So one instance that I've dealt with personally, I actually have a heart condition called inappropriate sinus tachycardia. It is a supraventricular tachycardia, and it was discovered by my primary physician when he listened to my heart. And he said, something is not right. I want to do an EKG right away. And he did. And now, mind you, I'm not at a hospital seeing my physician. I'm at a local city level clinic. That's where I was going to the doctor, because that's what I could afford at the time. So he takes me into another room and I do an EKG, and he said, I'm going to refer you to a cardiologist. At that point, I probably had been to the ER maybe once, and I had ended up going to the ER a couple more times after that with heart related issues. So I go to this cardiologist he referred me to. And I never saw the cardiologist. I actually saw his physician assistant. 5 months, this man told me nothing was wrong with me. He did not listen to me when I was telling him my symptoms. He said, you don't have any of the risk factors. You're young, you don't smoke, you're not an excessive drinker. But he also was not taking into account the stress levels that occur in African American women, which is also a real thing. And if you guys want me to talk further about that, I will. We have higher levels of stress just in daily life and dealing with the struggles that come with institutionalized racism and discrimination, and managing our families and our finances and work and everything, and how that impacts our health. So he finally said, there's nothing I can do for you. You can go ahead and get off of your medications that you were put on, and that's it. I walked out of that office that day telling my wife, I'm not stopping my medication, and I'm going back to Dr. Ketchell, who was my primary, and telling him that I need a second opinion. It just so happened I had gone to the ER, and the cardiologist physician assistant, again, in the ER, because I was kept overnight for monitoring, said, structurally, there's nothing wrong with your heart. She said, I believe it's electrical, and you need to see an electrophysiologist. She was like an angel, because it led me to do some research and find out, okay, what is an SVT? What does an electrophysiologist do that's different from a cardiologist? And how can they help me? Like, why do I need this doctor? And if I need that doctor, which doctor in San Diego is the best doctor, the best electrophysiologist, cardiologist that I can go to that I know I'm going to get the care that I need? So I found my electrophysiologist and made an appointment, got in there and saw him, because I went to my primary and I said, I need a second opinion. He said, do not stop your medication. He said, I heard it myself, so something is wrong with that guy. I said, can you please give me a referral, and not an open referral, but for this doctor specifically? And he did. So I finally got in to see him down at UCSD Sulpizio Cardiac Center. And the moment I walked through the door, he said, you are not crazy. It's not in your head. This is what's wrong with you. You have an SVT. We're going to figure it out together, and I can fix it. And I literally just fell to the ground in tears, because it's a trend in healthcare that Black women's pain is not listened to. The symptoms are not listened to. So you're not crazy. What you're feeling is real, and you should advocate for yourself in knowing that something's not right in my body. Something does not feel right. And that it doesn't have to be just physical. It could be emotional and mental too. If you need help, there's nothing wrong with asking for help and seeking and advocating for assistance and support for yourself. So make sure that you're doing that, and go to the doctor every 6 months, especially when you're in your 40s. By the time we hit 40, we're supposed to be getting an annual breast exam. Everyone should be doing that. All of us should be doing that, because the rates for African American women actually dying from breast cancer is higher than it is for white women, because we do not get diagnosed soon enough, and we also don't get the same level of care. So it's important to advocate for yourself. Lastly, I just wanted to round out this video by saying, again, I'm not perfect. I'm learning along the way too. If anybody has information they want to share with me, please do. I will absolutely research any information. If somebody has any questions, because that's how we all learn. I'm an information hoarder. I really love reading. I really love learning new things. And I would never consider myself to be an expert on anything. I don't care how many years I've been studying it or been active in an industry. I don't think anyone should do that. I feel like there's always more to learn about our bodies, about how they work. And it's a passion of mine, being able to keep learning and just share what I know. All right, you guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe please, so you can get all of my weekly information, and comment if you like, and I will see you next week.